Hey everybody, welcome back to L&B Outdoors. Today we're going to continue working on my friend's TO20. We got to strip this gas tank off and we got to work on the wheel bearing on the left front. It was wanting to scream on us whenever we was doing a little test driving action in the last video. So y'all come along, stay tuned. And as old as this mess is, kind of need to spray these down a little bit. Maybe they'll come off. Who knows? Yeah, we're going to see if these wheels come off. Hopefully. Oh, yeah. PB blaster works good. Feels tight, but you can feel some roughage in it. I think we got it that time. It's got grease in it, but looks can be deceiving. It feels gritty and like them rollers ain't rolling too good. Cotter pin that we got to get. I try to bend them back where I can reuse them, but sometimes it's not that easy. I'll put that up here. I don't know if this is backwards threads. No. Oh, that thing's on there. Get y'all set back right there and see if I can. Oh no. This nut ought not to be that tight. Alright, so nuts off the spindle. We're going to try to get this hub assembly off. It should slide right off. But should and would are two different things. Outer bearing. And there's our hub. Seal stayed on. Inner bearings wanting to stay on the spindle. Looks a little dry, as in old grease, a lot of slop in this bearing. I mean, it is a tractor. We might be able to clean it up and reuse it, but we may have to replace it. Seal. And there's your spindle. So yeah, want to get all this cleaned up. A little tech tip for you. When the wife thinks that she's got a couple of towels that are no good or tattered or stained, they make good shop rags. You see, I'm about worn this one out. We're going to wipe this spindle off. Try to get a good look at where all your bearings ride. Not bad. The spindle looks good. Little roughage in the seal area right here. But where the seal actually rides all the way back and kind of against this backing plate, it's smoother. You can tell right there how smooth it is. All this right here is roughage. It's got quite a bit of old grease in this bearing. Takes a brake clean, clean this off. So we can get some of this grease out of here. Them bearing rollers are awfully pitted. And see, it's wanting to come apart right there. Look at that. It's so loose and wore out that it's coming apart. Get our outer bearing cleaned up. See how it is. Oh, look at there, y'all. It's done fell apart on me. This one's shot too. Try to get them rollers back in their cages. And if you can look at it real good, it looks like it's oblong right here. If y'all can see that. It ain't perfectly round. So yeah, that's an issue. Alright, we got them bearings out. I'll have to run to town to get some. I thought I had some and I don't. But on this fuel tank, you got 2 bolts. On this back side, you got your fuel valve. Take loose your rubber line. Then you got 2 bolts in the front, and that tank will come off. We're going to get this tank taken off of here. Maybe I can show you a little glimpse of it inside. So the tank's ready to come off, but I wanted to kind of see if I can't get in here with the camera. See all that scale and rust? Every time that fuel sloshes, it just hits that, knocks it down in the bottom. Stops your valve up, filter up, and when it gets the filter worn out, it gets down in that carburetor. Nasty, tarnished looking, sticky. That ain't no good. Move our wrench out the way. Put our fuel cap back on. And this thing should just lift right up and off. Watch the fuel valve. There it goes. If y'all been with me for a while, y'all know what the top side of your TO20s look like. On mine that I done several months back, but that's what your top side looks like. This rod right here, that's your throttle rod that runs to hook up to your governor linkage. This whole piece right here is your thermostat housing. course, valve cover, exhaust manifold and intake manifold built into one. And on the opposite side, of course, this big tube right here is your crankcase ventilation. And here's your fuel tank. On your TO20s, it's got a little bit of toolbox. I'm going to try to take this off of here gently. All right, wheel bearings complete. I'm going to put this back on the ground. I'll show you what I've done here in a minute. So you know them bearings was bad. And I called the parts store and they said they'd have to special order. And I told them, hey, ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
So I did the next best thing. I came to my parts tractor and pulled that hub off. Bearings checked out good on it, so I pulled them bearings out, put them in that other hub, greased them up, cleaned them up, greased them up, put the old bearings back in this one. So if I ever decide to do anything with this one, I know I'll have to get some bearings for that. I've been having an idea, and y'all just bear with me here for a minute. So this is a TO20. Of course, it does not have an engine at all. And with these type of tractors, when your engine is part of your frame. So I've been looking, and there's a lot of cats out there that's been doing a lot of adding Briggs and Stratton engines to old farm-oil tractors, which is simple because they have a parallel frame rail that runs where the engine would be. So it makes it easy just to set you up an engine plate. But with one like this that doesn't have framework, well, I've been working on it, but I ain't messed with it in a while. But I built me an engine stand that'll bolt up to the bell housing on that side, and that'll bolt up to the front part on this side. And then I got me an 18 horse Briggs and Stratton that I'm thinking about putting on here. I mean, hey, it's only 2 horsepower less than what this originally was with its engine, and it's an air-cooled engine. I don't know, just, you know, some of them way back there in the brain that you think you got, and will it ever come to fruition? Who knows? Let me know. Drop it in the comments if you think that's something I need to do. If I do, it'll definitely be a wintertime project. There's going to be a lot of fabricating involved. But, yeah, drop it in the comments. Is that something that I need to build? Or is that something I just need to pass on and keep using this skeletal for parts? But as you can see, it's got good fenders, good seat, 3-point hitches. You can't see it in here, I don't think, but it's even got a PTO cover. I thought that was pretty nice. Still got all your hubs, steering connectors. I sure need to get some weed killer for this grass right here, I know that. Sure is thick. Alright, let's let this jack down. Get this thing back on the ground. This is more of an automotive jack than a farm jack. But I'm going to tell you something. I have used this more than any jack anywhere. And I've even moved little outbuildings, jacked them up, blocked them up, loaded them on trailers, unloaded them with this. And to be honest with you, I don't even remember where I found it. It might have come out of one of them old Volkswagens that me and my grandpa used to work on all the time. I think that is where it came from. I don't know. But anyway, little WD-40 here and there. It's a good jack. I wouldn't trade anything for it. And, you know, Eventually, I'll go buy one of them bigger, what they call farmer ranch hand jacks. Basically the same thing. All right, she's back on the ground. Now we're just waiting on the fuel tank. My buddy that owns this, he bought the tank. He's supposed to be coming over in the next few days. We're going to install it. Let him drive it around a little bit. And he's probably just going to go ahead and take it home with him. And I know some of y'all has been wondering, hey, whatever happened to your Massey 35? Well, here it is. Under the shed over here. I ran it quite a bit. And, of course, you know it's got all that blow-by weak. And I'm starting to hear a little bit of a, pretty sure it's a rod knock. So, guess what we're going to do this winter? I know I told y'all in the last video on this that we'll probably tear this down, but this is going to be one of our projects this winter. We're going to pull this motor down. We're going to pull the head off. We're going to pull the oil pan off. We're going to look at all of our rod bearings, crank bearings. We're going to see what that number 1 cylinder looks like. And then we'll see how far we need to go with it. Will it need to be re-sleeved? And all that. I ain't decided if I want to do just a cheap, quick, slap it back together. Or since I've already got it tore down, just go through the whole thing and get block machined, everything done right. I know that's what you're supposed to do, but hey, I'm a tightwad. I ain't about all spending kind of money. And the whole object for me doing all this is to see how cheap I can get some jobs done. To show you, you ain't got to go all in on a project. You can just mend it on by. But anyway, it's still here. We just letting her set till this winter. All right, we're back. Guess what? We got a new tank. Sure is shiny. Sure hope it holds the fuel. But before too long, we're going to fire this thing up. My buddy's going to go ahead and start bolting it together. We got to bolt it up. We got to put the alternator back on. And we got to get the longer fuel line. I don't know, that fuel line may reach. We'll just have to see. We don't want to stretch it too much. But man, where'd you get this tank at?
I ordered off of Amazon.
Amazon, man.
Reliable
Amazon.
something's what it was called.
Yep. Reliable tractors or something like that. I
believe.
think I've seen something like that before. But it's getting close to the short road, y'all. He sure is going to be excited to hear it run in person. We're going to do that here in just a little bit. We're going to get this tank put on, and then we'll be back. All right, new tank is on and bolted. Now, we did have to waller out these 4 holes a little bit because all the bolts wouldn't line up. So that made it a little fun. Alternator's on. Now we're going to get the battery in.
Okay. This way or this way? What was it?
I put the negative over here, positive over here.
Gotcha.
Since that negative is longer.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Tank's got us a little wedge. Push it through. Make sure I switch this off.
Yep.
That is your ignition there.
Okay.
Alright, we're going to put some fuel in it. Start off with about a gallon or 2 just to see. Make sure we ain't got no leaks out of our valve and all that good jolly. Sure is a nice tank.
Well, he can list it all.
No.
$240. Minus the cap.
Minus the cap. Cap's on its way, right?
Cap's on its way, and it's going to be an $18 additional charge.
$18 extra.
Does not come with it.
And as you see on this one, you know, the original just has a standard cap. These have threads on the outside. And your standard pipe threads, say PVC caps or whatever, they don't fit. So you got to go with a company to to make sure they work.
The 2-inch PVC cap will be about a 1/4 inch too big.
Wow. Well, we're about ready to drive this thing. And of course, as you told you earlier, fuel cap is on its way. Didn't realize that until after the tank got here, that's a separate item. Different threads. The original cap won't work. So we're just going to slap a rag over it and a few zip ties. Eliminate some of the sloshing. We're going to fire this thing up. See what happens. It's the moment of truth. See what happens. Fires right up. Fires right up. You can't get no better than this old equipment. I'll take this old stuff any day of the week. Man, that's always exciting. Always exciting. And it's so much quieter than mine. I gotta get a muffler for mine. That one's got a good car muffler. Uh-oh. What happened to it? Well, let's see what,
Well, I didn't give it no...
let's see if there's any fuel in the fuel bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's fuel in the fuel bowl.
Maybe crack the fuel on it a little bit.
Let's try it again, see what happens. Well, let's see here. See if we're getting some spark. Alright, spin it over. Yep, she's sparking. And we got fuel. All it should be is just a popping off. Gotta get used to that clutch. It's a little sticky. You can't tell it much, but I promise you, he's smiling.
I might drive it for more than my brand new.
Alright. That fuel valve, I'm thinking, we might still have a clog. I can't tell if that's full or not. Well, just try it and see what happens.
Turn it on.
Oh, okay.
That helps a lot.
Yeah. There it goes. That carburetor may still a little need of tweaking, but ain't ran in 3 to 5 years. He's driving it back out in some fields. Look at there. Hot dog, hot dog. Well, he got his trailer. He's ready to load this thing up. Let's load it up. Ain't no hill for a climber.
There it is.
There it is. I'm gonna help him get this thing chained down and we'll be right back. So it's loaded up and ready to go. But we have come to the conclusion, you know, these Chinese carburetors, they cheap. And you know why they cheap? Because half the time they don't work. We think this carburetor's having issues. It runs great when you have it half throttle or more, but at idle, it'll just shut off. So anyway, we're gonna get this finished up. He's fixing to drive off from here. Now he's gonna get to have fun on painting and redoing, and he's ready to put it in his garden about next spring. All right, there he goes. He sure is happy. Got his old tractor back. He start working on it now. I'm glad that he's glad. I love tinkering on this old stuff. Y'all know that. All right, he's driving out. There it goes. But I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Sure helps me out on that algorithm. I'm trying to get this channel built up, and I sure would appreciate it. Y'all take care, and we'll see y'all in the next video.